Okay, so come to standing, and I suggest you stand on the floor for the moment because we're going to do a little bit of warming up, stretching with a little bit of balance as well. So let's just take a moment just to bring our focus into our body, get ourselves ready to do some exercise. So thinking about your standing posture, your feet and knees hip width apart. Have the same amount of weight through both your legs, so you're not slightly leaning on one leg more than the other. And then just sway your body through the front of your foot and then back through your heel without lifting either your toes or your heel. And just sense that just redistribution of weight, and then come to settle where you're right in the middle. So you've got exactly the same amount of weight through the front of your foot and your heel. What we call that tripod of connection. The base of the big toe, the base of the little toe, and the midpoint of the heel are all completely evenly connected. So your feet are neither turned in nor turned out. And then have that sense of lengthening up through the inside of your leg without locking your knees. Make a gentle connection with your core, pelvic floor, lower abdominal, so this muscle here and your pelvic floor inside, without any tension in the buttocks. So the pelvis is in neutral, so the analogy that if you had headlamps on your hip bones here, they'd be shining directly straight ahead of you, not slightly towards the floor, which means your bottom is sticking out. So keeping the pelvis in neutral, and that also helps your spine lengthen up. Your shoulders relaxed down into your back and your arms gently lengthened by your side without creating any tension in your hands. Your neck is nice and long away from your shoulders, and your head just like it's balancing on top of your spine. Your chin being parallel to the floor, and it's like your gaze would be looking to the far horizon. But keep any tension out of your face, so soften your jaw and relax your face. And we'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Now getting your breath deeper than just your upper chest. So I want, as you breathe in, your shoulders don't come up, they stay down, and you really direct your breath into the base of your rib cage here. So that as you breathe in, you really feel that rib cage expanding out to the side. And then as you breathe out, you feel it coming back in. So do a few of those, still keeping your whole body lengthened and relaxed, so you're not creating any tension. But you're just opening out your lungs a little bit more. And also just this nice slow breathing just helps your mind switch off from anything that's stressful, and it just calms the mind. Good, and then we feel much more inclined to do some exercise. So we're going to carry on with the breathing and bring in the arms and the balance. The most important thing about rising onto your toes is that you don't lift the big toe. So keep that big toe grounded. So breathe in as you rise onto your toes. Only lift the heels off the floor as far as you can keep that big toe grounded. Lift your arms up to the ceiling on an in-breath, and breathe out as you circle your arms around and slowly roll down through your feet, ball of your foot, the middle of your foot, and then the heel. Once the heels are down, just do a little squat. You're not leaning forward, you're just squatting straight down. And then straighten the legs, breathing in. So arms come up, but the shoulders stay down. Try and bring your arms up as much as you can without arching your back. And breathe out, circle your arms back round by your side. Slowly rolling down through the feet. Once the heels are down, do a little squat. You get a nice little stretch in your calf. We'll do a few more of these, breathing in. So we're working on opening out the breath, getting a bit of movement in the shoulders, breathing out. Working on the balance, and as long as you keep your big toe down, you are working your ankle and strengthening your ankle evenly on the inside and the outside. And as you start to wake up the body, you can stretch a bit high, come further onto the toes. Keep that big toe down as you roll down through your feet. And we'll do one more in this direction. Stretching up. And coming back down. And straighten the legs. Now keep the toes where they are, but just bring the heels together. So you've got to keep those heels glued, which means you need to use your inner thighs, pelvic floor, and you can use your buttocks now. And we'll reverse the arm circle. Still the same with keeping the big toe on the floor. So breathing in, keep those heels glued together, arms coming up right by your ears as long as your shoulder socket allows it. And breathe out, roll down through the feet. Against once the knees are down, the knees bend over the big toe. Once the heels are down, sorry. Breathing in. And breathing out. So just do this at your own pace. Coming onto the toes as much as you can, as high as you can, but keeping the big toe grounded. Squeezing your buttocks, squeezing the inner thigh, using your core. Stretch. And down, we'll do one more. And breathing in. And breathing out. And straighten your legs and bring your feet back to being parallel. So we're going to do a little bit more balance work. So get your support. I'm going to get the support onto my left leg. So I'm going to be strong on the inside of my thigh, and I'm also going to use my left buttock and then bring my right foot off. You can just bring it just off the floor or have your knee up in line with your hip. And then let's do some ankle circles. If you need to have your arms out to the side for balance, then do. But be strong in your supporting leg, and let's do the ankle circles in the opposite direction. Keep your foot grounded, your supporting foot grounded. And then put your foot back down, always having that leg under the corresponding hip. So get your strength and support on your other leg, inside thigh and corresponding buttock, and bring this foot off. And let's do some ankle circles here. And reverse the ankle circle. And then put that foot back down again. Go back to the first leg. And bring the first foot off. Now let's just do some toe scrunches. So really scrunch your toes and then really spread them wide. Our toes don't get enough movement independently of anything else. A couple more. Put that foot back down, transfer your weight and support. Just take a moment just to be strong on that foot before you bring the other foot off. So if you lose your balance, stop, get your support in your leg, in your supporting leg before you start again. And one more. And release the foot back down. So we're going to do a quad stretch now. So if you find your balance is really bad, you could just stand against a wall or a chair or something. But because the main focus is on the quad, the balance is a secondary benefit. So again, your support on your first leg, bring your knee up, don't grab your ankle out to the side, reach down, this is all part of the balance test, and draw your leg around. You hold onto your ankle with one hand and have the other hand out to your side, or you can hold on with both hands. Don't arch your back, tummy in, hips forward, and just bend that knee towards the floor. Try and have the knees together as much as you can. Keep the hips forward, keep the tummy in, so you're not arching your back. Got a nice stretch in the quad here. And then with control, release again, the leg going under the hip. So get your support on the other leg, bring your knee up, reach down, draw around, tummy in, hips forward, and take that leg, the bent knee, back as much as you can to get a really good stretch in this quad. And then release. Good, you might want to come onto your mat for the next one. I think this is a little bit hard on the heels, unless you're on a carpet, of course. So let's take our right leg forward. It doesn't have to go very far forward, and then keep the right leg straight and bend the left, and then just bring your body over your right leg. And you get a really lovely stretch in the back of your right leg. Keep the right leg straight, so you're stretching behind the knee as well. Just hold on to wherever is comfortable. Just drawing your body down over that leg. And then keep your heel on the mat, but bring your toes up. And if you can reach, hold on to your toes, bring them up a bit more, and then bend down. But try and keep the right leg straight still, but you'll need to bend the left knee a bit more now. And then drop the toes, tuck your pelvis under, and roll yourself up, always restacking your spine from the base, and then bring your right leg back. So now let's do the other side. Take the left leg forward, keep the left leg straight, now bend the right knee and bring your body down over your left leg, holding on behind your left leg to draw your body down towards it, keeping straight behind the knee. Keep the foot flat for a few breaths. And then bring your toes up, reach on your toes, draw the toes towards you, bend your right knee a bit more, and just come down a little bit further. And then drop the toes, tuck the pelvis under, and come on up and bring your left foot back. So let's do the giraffe now. So stand with your legs wide, your feet turned out. When you're in this position, don't stick out your bottom, keep the pelvis tucked under. And then you're going to hinge from these hip creases to come forward with a flat back, and then you let your head and your arms hang down. You can adjust your feet to being slightly wide or not so wide. And let's just hang here in the middle. Just get that nice stretch on the inside thighs, keep the legs straight. So the legs are going to stay straight throughout, and the hips stay exactly where they are. You're going to rotate through your waist. Come over your right leg. So your body's facing your right leg with your left arm coming across, holding on to whatever level. So it can be high or it can be lower. And then bring this arm up to the ceiling. It's like you're wrapping your rib cage around your spine. You haven't bent either leg, and your hips staying exactly where they were. After a breath, you bring that top arm down. Both hands come back to the center. Check that your legs are still straight, and then rotate through your waist to come over the other leg. When the first one on each side might not go so far, so don't force anything. Hold on to the outside of that leg, and then bring this top arm up, wrapping your rib cage around your spine. Look towards your fingers at the ceiling to get as much movement in your neck as you can. And then bring that top arm back down and back to the center. So go at your own pace. We're going to do 2 more each side, alternating each time. And each time, if your back is feeling up to it, you can take that rotation a little bit more. You do that by using the hand on the outside of your leg, and also your top arm drawing further back, like it's just pulling the rib cage around a little bit more each time. And stay up there for 1 or a couple of breaths, depending on how tight you are. On the tighter side, if you've got a tighter side, you can stay there for an extra breath. So you don't have to go very low. If you find that's too strong, you can just be holding behind the knee. And let's do 1 more on each side. It's such a nice way of opening out the spine. It opens out the legs, stretches them. And when you've done 3 each side, you can just hang in the center. If you want, you can take your legs a little bit wider. Keep the legs straight and just open out slightly on the inside thighs. Just breathe and relax into this for a few breaths. And then toe heel your feet back to hip width apart. If you need to bend your knees at this stage, then do. If you can't reach the floor. And then tuck your pelvis under, scoop in your core, and roll yourself up. Let's do our roll downs going into downward dog. We're just going to do 3 sets of these. So come to standing at one end of the mat. We did these last week, but they're such a good exercise that I can't miss them out this week. So we'll do them again. So getting into good standing posture. Now breathe in to lengthen through your spine, keep your shoulders down. Breathe out, roll your neck down, all 7 vertebrae in the neck, then the upper back. Just come down as far as you can. Always hold the roll down at the bottom, breathing into your back here. So as you feel your ribcage expand at the back, you're stretching the muscles that run either side of your spine. And then walk yourself into a downward dog. You can either come into a short downward dog if you're very tight. If you want to challenge that calf stretch, then take your arms a bit further. But have your head between your arms, your hips up to the ceiling, on tiptoes with both legs. Then bend one knee and stretch the other heel to the floor. Rise up onto tiptoes with straight legs before you swap over. So each time you're coming back to stretching behind both knees before you swap. Let's do about 8 of these. And really ease, especially the first set, ease that heel down and hold it there for a count of 1 or 2. Just really maximize that stretch. And do 1 more on each side. Now you can either walk your hands back to your heels, or if you're not too tight, you can walk your feet up to your hands. And then tuck your pelvis under and roll yourself up. So just do this at your own pace. And your neck floats on up last. So obviously if you've walked your hands back to your feet, you have to readjust your starting position. Let's do 2 more of these in your own time. So breathing in to lengthen through your spine. And as you breathe out, you start your roll down. You just then breathe, just whatever comes naturally. But just keep your face and whole body relaxed. Don't bring any tension into your jaw. Just keep breathing, rolling down all the way to the bottom and staying here for 1 nice deep breath into your back. And then coming into your downward dog. Starting on tiptoes with both legs before you bend 1 knee in and the other heel to the floor. And then up to straight legs. So you're not swapping over with your legs bent. Keep the hips level. So use your core still. You're not dropping one hip down as you drop the heel to the mat. Really stretching the heel all the way to the mat. And then when you've done your 8, onto tiptoes with both legs, see how far you can get both heels to the floor. And then either walk your hands back to your feet or your feet up to your hands. And why don't you hold on behind your leg and flatten out your body towards your legs. Get that extra stretch, especially up at the top of the hamstring. And then let your arms hang, tuck your pelvis under, and roll yourself up. Shoulders keeping away from your ears. You don't have to do anything with them, they just come along for the ride. Last one. Staying at the bottom of the roll down, keeping straight behind the knees, even if it means you're not bending down so far. It's really important to keep straight behind the knee. Walk yourself into your downward dog at whatever level. Flatten out your back, your head towards the mat as much as possible. Your hips up to the ceiling before you start your walking on the spot. I'll do one more on each side. I naturally find that I'm going a little bit faster by this time, not because I'm speeding it up, just because I'm not quite so tight. Up on tiptoes, both heels down as far as I can go. And this time I'll walk my feet back to my hands. And then just roll myself. Actually, before we roll ourselves up, let's do a few extra hamstring stretches here. So bend your knee so more of your hand can go on the mat that could otherwise reach. Then keep your hands in that position. See how much you can straighten behind the knee. You might not straighten completely, but just very carefully. Don't snap open behind the knee. Just ease everything open behind the knee. Let's do about 5 of these extra hamstring stretches. Such a great way of opening them up. And then on the 5th, scoop in your core, tuck your pelvis under, and roll yourself up. All the way to the top. Good. That's a nice little stretch to wake us all up. So while we're standing, let's do our arm weights. Have a little drink of water if you need to. So come to standing where you feel nice and grounded through from the hips down into the floor, evenly on both legs, but then still have that sense of length in your spine, lightness in the body, and feet obviously hip width apart. A gentle engagement in the core. Bring your arms up in line with the shoulders, palms down to start with. And then you turn your palms up as you bring your weights into your shoulder. As you straighten your arms, your palms go down. The upper arm stays parallel to the floor. 3, 4, palms up as you come in, as you straighten palms down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Arms out to the side, not too far back, just in your peripheral vision. Palms up and in. As you straighten, palms go down. The rotation is actually from your upper arm, not just from the wrist. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Into your collarbone and up to the ceiling. Stretch at the elbow. As the arms come up, the shoulders stay down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Arms by your side, up to the shoulders and down to the hips. 2, 3, 4, 5, just 5 of those, and 5 out to the side. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let's do another set of that. Just give your shoulders a little wriggle. So keeping nice and tall, core in, standing tall, up and in, straighten and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Out to the side, up and in, straighten and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Into your collarbone, up to the ceiling and down to the shoulders. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Arms by your side and up to the shoulders and down to the hips. You're not swaying your body, keep the body still using your core. 3, 4, 5, out to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if you want to swap weights, I know some of you start with a heavy weight and go on to a slightly lighter one. Let's give you a chance to swap over. Give your shoulders a little wriggle. So let's do one more set of those. So arms straight out, up and in, straighten and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Out to the side, up and in, straighten and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Into your collarbone and up to the ceiling. Really check that you straighten at the elbows. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then arms by your side, up to your shoulders and down to the hips. Keep using your core, standing tall. 3, nearly there. 4, 5, then out to the side, shoulders stay down as the arms come up. Use your upper arms. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well done, brilliant. Put your weights down. Do a nice stretch. So take one arm just below the shoulder and bring it across in front, and then draw this arm across from above the elbow. But keep this shoulder down and draw this shoulder back as you bring the arm across. You're trying to get this stretch across the top of your arm here. You're not bringing your shoulders around, you're not turning around, you're just bringing your arm across. I'll give you a nice stretch here. And then triceps, either interlinking your fingers behind your back, or if you can't reach, then you can just bring this elbow and just draw the elbow up. You want to get this elbow up to the ceiling to stretch your triceps, the back of your arm, upper arm. But don't arch your back, keep your tummy in, hips forward, and just take the elbow up to the ceiling. Try not to compromise your neck either. Get a nice stretch here, lengthening that elbow up to the ceiling. And then release. Let's do the other arm. So bring your arm across. I've got to take it slightly higher because of my microphone, but keep this arm low, keep the shoulder down. Draw the shoulder back as you bring the arm across. And then let's do the triceps on this side. Sometimes you can interlink your fingers on one side and not the other, so just do what you can, but don't arch the back. Elbow up to the ceiling, tummy and hips forward. And release. Excellent. So we're going to come onto the mat now, and we are going to do the curl-ups with salute. So come to sitting on your mat using your hands as little as possible, and then roll yourself back, one vertebra at a time. Get your head cushions if you need them. You want to make sure your neck is in line with your spine, so your head is neither tilting back or is it pushing your chin towards your chest. So come back with your feet flat, feet and knees hip width apart, pelvis in neutral. Get your shoulder blades nice and open at the back, but also don't close in across the front of the shoulder. So interlink your fingers behind your head. Have your elbows just in the peripheral vision. Just do a quick test. Just bring your head just off the cushion and let your head relax back into your arms. So let your arms be active. So you've got to remember that you're not using your neck in this. Okay, so come back down onto the mat, but then don't let your elbows flop out to the side. Still keep that sling of support from your arms. So remember, we're working from the abdominals, the upper abdominals, just from the base of the breastbone. Imagine them drawing down towards your pubic bone to make yourself curl up. So you're not curling up from your neck. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, curl yourself up. So you should be looking towards your knees. Keep your head relaxed. You're not using your neck. Breathe in, bring one arm and then the other arm in front of you. Stay curled up as you bring one hand back and then the other. Do an extra curl up from here and then think of lengthening these muscles as you bring yourself back down onto the mat. But keep your arms as a sling. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, curl yourself up. You can curl up a bit more if you want by shortening these muscles a little bit more. Stay curled up as you bring one arm and then the other. Make sure your neck is relaxed. Stay curled up as you bring one hand back and then the other. Do a little extra crunch, curl up from your abdominals. You should really feel those abdominals working and curl yourself back down. We're going to do 2 little crunches on the next one. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, curl yourself up. Pull in all your abdominals. Stay curled up and bring one arm and then the other. Stay curled up as you bring one hand back and then the other. Do a little crunch and a crunch. And then use those same muscles. Lengthen them to allow your body to come back down. We're going to do 3 more. Breath in. Breathe out, curl yourself up. Each time, trying to curl up a tiny bit more, not from the neck, but from the abdominals. Staying at that point as you bring one arm and then the other. Staying exactly at that point as you bring one hand back and the other. And do a couple of little tiny crunches. You should really feel that working the upper abdominals. And then curl back down. Let's do 2 more. And then one arm and then the other. Don't dip back down at all. Stay curled up as you bring one hand, then the other. A couple of little crunches from your abdominals, not by pulling on your head and neck. And then lower. And let's do 1 more. Breathing in. And stay curled up. 1, 2, stay curled up, don't dip at all. This is the hard bit, to staying curled up. And a couple of little crunches and then curl yourself back down. And then take your hands away. Well done, good. Hopefully you really felt that working with these muscles around here. So now let's work this lower transverse abdominal, one of our key core muscles. If you don't have a ball, then obviously just stay on the mat exactly as you are. For those of you who like using a ball, and get your ball. This challenges your core a bit more because it obviously destabilizes you, so you have to work a bit more. Lift your pelvis up so you can get the ball. I seem to have got mine blown up rather high actually, but anyway. Now make sure it doesn't tip your pelvis, so keep that pelvis back in neutral. Keep your feet and knees hip width apart and then come into a double knee fold. So you can either, if you haven't got a ball, then there's no excuse to not have both arms around your waist. If you're on the ball, you can have one arm, do a couple of repetitions, and then you're building up to having both arms around your waist. So let's start with the toe taps. Your feet are softly pointed. Remember, you're just hinging from your hip joint to bring one foot down. As soon as your toes just touch the mat, then bring back up again. And then pull in your core and swap over and alternate. You're not altering the angle behind the knee. You're just hinging from your hip socket. So let's do 10 of these alternating. Keep going at your own pace. I'll do a couple more. And then to come back. Now let's flex our feet and do exactly the same, but you keep the feet flexed, still hinging from the hip socket. Now because your feet are flexed, you've got to go slightly further. Use that core, don't let the pelvis come out of neutral. Remember, if you've got one arm wrapped around your waist, then after a few repetitions each side, swap that arm, and you're building the strength up so you can have both arms wrapped around your waist. I seem to be making it hard for myself by having my balls so inflated. But anyway, I get there. Let's do 10 of these as well. So try and keep any tension out of your thighs. It could mean that your core is let go a touch. Do one more on each side. And then when you've done those, come out of your double knee fold, one leg at a time. And then take the ball away and curl your pelvis and spine back down onto the mat. Good, so now we're going to do the hundreds. Again, for those of you who've been coming to my classes, we've been using some light weights. So if you want to use your weights, you can do. Remember, the weights challenge you. You mustn't start rocking your body when you're curled up. So I'll leave it up to each of you how high you have your legs when you have the legs extended. So everyone come into a double knee fold and have your knees together and your ankles together. So you can either stay in this double knee fold position, or you can extend the legs high, or at a more intermediate level, when you're curled up, you can extend the legs a bit lower. But whatever you do not come out of your neutral. So if you start feeling any tension in your lower back, then either raise your legs or come back to a double knee fold, because it means you've come out of neutral. So we're going to do it in 2 lots of 50. Remember, you're working from these upper abdominals. Take a breath in to prepare. As you breathe out, curl yourself up, lengthen your arms and extend your legs. And breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 5 and in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 20 in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 30 in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 40 in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 50. Still your arms. Bend your knees in. Curl yourself back down. You can hug your knees into your chest. So remember, you're staying curled up from your abdominals, not by putting any tension in your neck. Your pelvis is staying back in neutral. You're using your core for that, and you're using all your abdominals to stay curled up. So bring your feet back together and your knees back above the hips. Let's do the next 50. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, curl yourself up, lengthen your arms and extend the legs. And breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 60 in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 70 in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 80 in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 90 in. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out. 2, 3, 4, 100. Seal your arms, bend your knees in. Curl yourself back down and hug your knees into your chest. Well done, everybody. Great. Okay, keep your knees together. Put your hands on your knees and just do a few little circles around your lower back, all right round the outside edge of your pelvis and lower back. And then to go in the opposite direction. And then hug your knees into your chest. And then come out of your double knee fold. And then lengthen one leg away, lengthen the other leg away. If you've got a bad back, come onto your side to come to sitting. If not, put your hands on top of your legs. Curl yourself up and roll yourself up all the way. Sit tall. And then lengthen from your lower back to come over your legs. Getting a nice stretch behind your knees, behind your legs, drawing your body down. Wherever you can reach, hold on and actively draw your body down, lengthening from your lower back. And then re-stack your spine. Sitting nice and tall. So we're going to stay sitting and do a nice sitting stretch now. Let's put my weights out of the way. So on your sit bones with your legs wide, have the feet turned out so you're opening out the inside of your thighs here. Sitting nice and tall, and then lengthen from your lower back to come over the floor in the middle. Keep the feet turned out, hold on to wherever you can reach, and lengthen your body over the floor, lengthening from the lower back just to really stretch out the inner thighs. And then put your hands back in the center. So just make a little note of where those hands are so that you can notice a little improvement at the end. So rotating through your waist, come over your left leg. Keep the right hip down. Hold on to wherever you can reach with both your hands being parallel. And then just lengthen your body over the leg. So to keep the hands parallel, the right arm has to travel a bit further over the left leg. But then you get that extra stretch in the right side of your body. This is one of those exercises that the more times you do it each leg, the more you notice the difference. So we'll just do 3 more times. And then walk your hands back to the center. Rotating through your waist, come over your right leg. Hold on with both your hands at whatever point you can comfortably reach, and then lengthen your body over your legs. So you're keeping the left hip down and you're lengthening away from that left hip. And because the left arm has to travel further, you're getting a nice stretch or a gentle stretch in the left side of the body. And then walk your hands back to the center again, rotating through the waist so the hips stay grounded, the legs stay grounded, and lengthen your body over your leg. Keep breathing, keep your body relaxed. Don't take the stretch so far that you start to tense. Get a really good stretch behind your leg here. And now put the outside of your left elbow on the inside of your left knee. So the outside of your forearm is aiming to be parallel to the inside of your lower leg. And then bring your right arm over the top of your head in the direction of your left toes. So keep reaching that bottom rib on the right-hand side away from the right hip bone. Don't bring your top shoulder down towards the floor. Keep nice and open, and you get a really nice stretch on the right side of your body into the right hip, and breathe into that. And then rotate back over your left leg and just draw your body down again. So now walk your hands back to the center, back over to the right leg, holding on and lengthening your body over that leg. Each time you can go a little bit further. And now put the outside of your right elbow on the inside of your right knee and your left arm over the top of your head in the direction of your right toes. Keeping your top shoulder open and reaching, lifting that bottom rib on the left-hand side away from the left hip, getting a nice stretch there. And then rotate back over your right leg, hold on to wherever you can reach, and draw your body down once more. And we'll do 1 more on each side. So walking your hands back to the center, rotating through the waist, come back over your left leg. Hopefully you can reach a tiny bit further now. And as you lower your body, you've just gone a little bit lower. Don't ever force anything, just let everything release at its own pace. Keep breathing, keep everything nice and relaxed. Then put the outside of your elbow on the inside of your knee, or as near as you can get it. And then your left arm over the top of your head in the direction, did I say left arm? Your right arm in the direction of your left toes. Then And rotate your body once more over your leg and really lengthen your body down. And then once more, walking your hands back to the center and over now to my right leg, drawing my body down over. Manage to take my legs a tiny bit wider. And now the outside of my elbow on the inside of my knee and my left arm over the top of my head in the direction of my right toes. A really nice stretch here. And then once more rotating over your right leg, drawing your body down, keeping straight behind the knee. Always find that extra stretch. And then bring your hands back to the center. And now place your one hand on each leg, and hopefully you've gone a little bit further. You might be able to take the legs a tiny bit wider, and then pull your body over the center. And then put your hands on them in the middle. Hopefully you've noticed how you've loosened up a touch. And then walk your hands back to the center, restacking your spine to sit nice and tall, and then bring your legs back together and give them a little shake. So let's also do some more stretches on our legs, but also getting into the hips with the band. So we'll do the leg stretches with the band. So get your band, get any head cushions that you need. Always roll yourself back using your abdominals. Get yourself back into a good relaxation position. Feet and knees hip width apart, pelvis in neutral. And let's start with the right leg. Take the band and wrap the band around the ball of your right foot. Hold on to the band one end in each hand. And then your elbows can relax on the mat so you don't start bringing any tension into your shoulders. And then using the band, gently draw your right leg, keeping straight behind the knee in the direction towards being above your hip. Keep the foot flexed and really reach away through the heel. And relax into this for a few breaths. As it releases at one level, you can use the band to gently draw the leg a little bit further up towards your upper body. But don't start bending at the knee. The most important thing is to keep straight behind the knee. Keep the pelvis grounded, so don't start lifting the pelvis in order to get your leg further up towards your body. So now working from the outside of the right ankle, turn the sole of your right foot inwards. With the leg straight above the hip or in the direction of the hip, then your right toes in line with your right shoulder, not in your midline. And then if you want to increase the stretch, you just take the leg, a whole leg across, just a few inches across the body till you get your desired stretch, but don't bend at the knee. Just keep your elbows relaxed on the mat and let the band support your leg. Now take both ends of the band in your right hand. Point your right foot now and take your right leg out to the side away from you. You can relax your bent left knee out in the opposite direction. So your right foot is pointed and the right leg is turned out slightly from the top of the thigh. Watch your wrist alignment here. You have a straight line through the back of your hand and the back of your forearm. And then just find where you get your best stretch on the inner thigh. If the lower you take your foot to the floor, the more you'll feel the stretch up into the pubic bone. But keep the leg turned out and keep the foot pointed. So now bend your right leg and bring your leg back above your hip, and then you can straighten it again. Your left knee back up in line with the left hip. So now both ends of the band in your left hand. You're back to a flexed right foot, and you're just going to bring the right leg across the body without the right hip coming off to begin with. You won't go very far. You get a very strong stretch down the outside of the hamstring, sometimes down the outside of the calf. The foot isn't turned in, it's just flexed. Just stay here for a couple of breaths. And then relax your bent left knee out of the way and slowly let your right leg come over. The hip comes off. You're aiming for your right leg to be parallel to the floor, but your right shoulder stays where it was on the mat, so you're not lifting the shoulder. And then again, watch your wrist alignment here, that you've got a straight line through the back of your hand and the back of your forearm. So we're going to stay relaxed into this for quite a few breaths. So visualize your breath going into any areas of tension. Keep checking to see if you could straighten behind your knee a little bit more. Keep reaching away through the heel. Just check that the band is supporting your leg. You're not holding on to any tension in your leg. Couple more breaths in this position. And then bend your knee into your chest. Use your core. Get your back on the mat from the top to the bottom so you never arch your back. Bring your left foot up into the band and swap over in mid-air, dropping your right foot onto the mat in line with your right hip. So back to holding the band, one end in each hand. So you've got equal tension either side of your foot. The left foot is flexed, so reach away through the heel towards the ceiling, keeping straight behind the knee. And then use the band to gently encourage your leg further up above the hip. Keep the elbows relaxed on the mat so you don't start bringing tension into your shoulders. Pelvis stays grounded, and we'll stay here for a few more breaths. Now working from the outside of your left ankle, turn the sole of your foot inwards. So initially your left toe is in line with the left shoulder. Then if you need to increase the stretch, you take the whole leg across the body, keep straight behind the knee until you get your desired stretch. Hopefully you're getting a stretch down the outside of your lower leg, your shin. And now take both ends of the band in your left hand, point your left foot and take the left leg out to the side away from you. You can relax your bent right knee out the opposite way. You will have come out of neutral a touch now, but your other leg going out to the side helps counterbalance that to a certain extent. So the left foot is pointed and the left leg is turned out slightly from the top of the thigh. You're trying to aim to get a stretch on the inside of the thigh. And then the lower to the floor, you get your foot, sometimes you get that stretch going slightly higher up towards the pubic bone. Watch your wrist alignment. Keep the leg turned out. And now bend your left knee to bring it back above the hip, then straighten it again. Bring your right knee back up in line. So back to a flexed left foot and both ends of the band in your right hand now. So first of all, before the left hip comes off, just isolate the left leg across the body, keeping straight behind the knees. The hip hasn't come off, it's just the leg. Doesn't necessarily go very far, it can be a very strong stretch. We'll just hold this here for a couple of breaths. And now you can relax the bent right knee out of the way, so now the left hip can slowly roll off, but not the left shoulder, and you're aiming for your left leg to be parallel to the floor. Don't worry if you can't go that far, only go as far as is comfortable in your lower back and not too strong in the hip. Keep reaching away through the heel so the foot stays flexed. Check your wrist alignment. We'll stay here for quite a few breaths. So just keep your whole body completely relaxed. Any areas of tension, visualize your breath going into that area. Allow the muscles just to release and let go. Keep nice, gentle breathing. And now to come out of it, bend your knee into your chest, use your core, get your back on the mat, come back to the center, and then take the band away and put to one side. Back into your relaxation position. And so we'll finish off with just a couple of neck rolls. So keep your face nice and soft. You can have your eyes closed or open, whichever you like. And you're going to just roll your head to one side Keep both your shoulders relaxed away from your ears. Keep your jaw relaxed and let your head be nice and soft. And just breathe into this for a couple of breaths. And then let your head roll back to the center and roll the other way. So keep the shoulders down and open. Don't bring one shoulder with you. Just keep rotating the head as far as your neck movement will allow. Keeping your eyes soft, your forehead soft, your jaw relaxed. Keeping a certain distance between your chin and your shoulder. And do a couple more on each side. I'll let you go at your own pace. If one side is slightly tighter, you can hold that side for a little bit longer. Keep the shoulders relaxed and away from your chin. So each time you can try and take your head over a bit more, but as long as the shoulders stay relaxed and your face doesn't start tensing up. And I'm going to do one more on each side. And then bring your head back to the center. And then in your own time, slowly come to sitting. Either come onto your side or lengthen one leg and then the other and roll yourself up. If you want to stay down in the relaxation position for a little bit longer, then do that. But if not, if you've rolled yourself up, sit tall and then bring your body over your legs for one more nice stretch here. And focus your breath into your back here. So as you breathe in, you really feel the back of your rib cage expanding. Do that once more. And then walk your hands back up your legs. Restack your spine.